The MTA is committed to providing you the best in transit, and we're interested in your thoughts about MTA services. That's why we feature a segment called Ask the MTA. On each Ask the MTA, we give you an opportunity to ask MTA personnel questions you have concerning transit. And here to answer your questions today is MTA Deputy Director of Light Rail, Mike Whitaker. We recently took to the streets for your questions, and here's our first question.
Hello, my name is Marquita. I live at Forest Park, and I just would like to know, when is MTA going to bring a faster route for the 15?
So folks, they have questions about a faster route for the 15. That's a little difficult to kind of answer.
Yeah, we don't plan on, at this time, we don't plan on making any changes to the 15 route.
Right.
But if we were, it would involve public hearings and public meetings before any decisions were made.
Right.
But we're aware that it does need some changes.
And so what we do, typically when folks have concerns, we send out folks to monitor the route.
Yes.
Again, having the public hearings so they can come in and get, questions answered and things like that. But we monitor it, but no immediate plans.
No immediate plans.
Okay, so now on to our next question.
Hello, my name is Norman Wilson. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I want to know if the MTA fare is going up.
I don't know. Are we getting more money that I don't know about?
No. We understand the economic times, and whenever you have economic times, families have to reevaluate their budget, and so do businesses.
Right.
So MTA, we did do that, and we made a decision not to increase fares at this time.
Okay. Well, that's good news. No increased fares right now.
Yes.
So on to our next question.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I'm from Owings Mills, and I would like to know when we're going to get air conditioning in the metro stations.
That's a hard thing to do, air conditioning metro stations?
That's very difficult. Actually, MTA did do a recent study to check on the feasibility of the air conditioning station. But there's two main factors. One is it has to be a fresh air system. We have exhaust fans and vent fans that keep fresh air coming into the stations. And the second thing is, if you've been staying at a station when a train comes into the station,
it's like swoosh. It pulls like it's sucked.
It's the train's pushing air from one station to the next, and to try to air condition the whole all the tunnels and the stations is just not cost effective.
Right.
So we will not be doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice thought though.
Yes, especially during these hot weeks.
Yeah. On to our next question.
Good afternoon. This is Bernard. I'm from Baltimore. I have a question for Metro. I'd like to know, are you guys going to be expanding to D.C.?
Wow, expanding to the D.C. area. Well, our expansion right now is the Marc train system, but are there immediate plans to link or expand to the D.C. system?
Not with the rails, no. But we do have, like you said, the Marc, and we also have the commuter bus that gives us to the D.C. region.
Right.
But there is a plan to have a 16-mile light rail line that goes from Bethesda to New Carrollton in the D.C. area.
Okay.
So that's coming up in the future. And we're not sure if MTA is going to operate it or if the Washington, D.C. is going to operate it. It might make more sense for them to operate it.
Right.
But we're going to decide that over the next 2 years, working closely with them.
But they are, we continue to look for ways to improve connectivity between these two great metropolitan areas.
Yes.
So always on the horizon.
Yes.
Funding is the limitation. On to our next question.
Hi, my name is Elena. I'm from west side of Baltimore, and I would like to know, since I ride the train daily, will you be increasing police officers?
So folks are talking about having more police on Metro. I guess, the thing that's so funny is they don't know that we actually have undercover folks who are on there.
Yeah, police officers are deployed to the stations, and they also go to ride the trains undercover.
Yeah.
But that dispatch is based on patterns like crime patterns or special events or complaints and things like that. But we also have our cameras in the stations,
which are great.
Which is a force multiplier. It multiplies our force presence because the cameras are monitored, and if somebody sees an increase or an activity, they can just deploy officers to that location quickly.
Yeah, so it's not always, I know it gives people comfort to have a physical person there, but it's a layering effect for our police force.
Yes.
It's everything from physical officers to cameras. So we do have a presence there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
On to our next question.
Hello, my name is Susan, and I work at the State Center, and I live in Fells Point, and my question has to do with the Red Line, and I'm very anxious to have it be finished, and my question is, when do you anticipate it being finished?
That red line, that mystical red line, when will it be finished?
I've been involved in a lot of planning meetings with that.
Okay.
And the short answer is, based on the funding we get from the federal government, if we get the funding, we'll open the red line in late 2020.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll still be young enough to ride it, I think. Okay. So around 2020. But I know there are a lot of preliminary phases that have to go through.
Yes, right now we're in preliminary engineering.
Right. So it's a lot. And our next question?
Hello, my name is Tina Dudley and I live in Hamden. My question is, why doesn't the light rail have priority in the streetlights?
So what is the deal with the light rail going through Howard Street and crossing all those major intersections?
Yeah, first of all, we have to work with Baltimore City traffic because we don't control those traffic lights. We have to work with them.
We do not control
That's the
traffic
first thing.
lights, yeah.
Now, secondly, there's two ways to control traffic lights. One is preemption and one is priority.
Okay.
Now, we use signal priority on 17 stations along Howard Street currently
Right.
now. And what that does, it doesn't interrupt the signal pattern, but if a train's approaching an intersection has a green light, it'll keep the green light longer.
Okay.
So that's basically how it works.
Yeah, and I guess the difficulty that what people can't understand sometimes is the fact that we operate on city roads.
That's
MTA
correct.
does not own Baltimore Department of Transportation roads, so we have to give way to privately operated vehicles,
Yes.
and that's a huge commercial area downtown.
Yeah, and we work very close with Baltimore City traffic, with
Exactly.
the light rail traffic, to try to get the best flow of both.
But we continue to look for ways to improve,
Yes.
so there's hope. Our next and last question is one we received from email, and it's from Jean Matthews of Lutherville. My son has an electric model train set here at home, and he recently asked whether light rail receives its electric power from BGE like his trains do, or from some other special transit source. We both are curious about this, as light rail trains seem to continue to run even when we don't have power. So when they have power outages in their neighborhood, the light rail seems to keep running, and it's not that far from their home.
That's correct. Yeah,
So
we
what's
get
the
a separate
story?
feed. We get a separate feed from BG&E.
Ah, a special light rail feed.
That's correct.
So it is
Yeah.
a special source, but it's still from BGE.
Yes, and not at all locations, but in that area that he's talking about,
Right.
it's a special feed from BG&E. And occasionally we do lose power, and our trains stop like yours do at home. But,
Yes.
But not too often.
But that's good. I learned something new today.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for
You're
joining
welcome.
us today. And you
You're
got to come back and tell us about some other exciting things that are going
I'll be
on.
happy to.
Great.
All right.
If you have questions and you'd like to ask the MTA, visit our MTA television show link at www.mta.maryland.gov or drop us a line and check us out on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. You take care.